What if I told you that Tomodachi Life is actually great for developing OCs? In this video, I wanted to talk about how OC development can actually be handled quite well in Tomodachi Life because the game gives you a lot of options to really think about your characters in a bit more detail despite how silly it can be. So aside from the obvious personality types, things like phrases are definitely very helpful because yes, you can just do something very silly, but when you look at all the phrases that you have available, you really have to think to yourself, what would this character genuinely say if they were sad, or what would they say if they were happy or mad? So it gets you thinking, okay, this character will probably say this because they're this type of personality and they react in this way, so therefore they're going to say this. Now obviously the game is kind of limited on what they can say for phrases, like there's not much room in some places, which sucks. So you do have to get creative with that as well. I feel like those limitations do sort of help in a way. Like, I feel like people tend to be more creative when they have more limits as opposed to having like free options to anything. Like if the game gave you like infinite space for phrases, I feel like there might be less creativity. That could just be me though. So because of that, you have to really get into the mind of your character, really understand their personality. Because I think when it comes to dialogue and character speech patterns, people tend to overlook that a little bit because they focus more on the visual aesthetics of the character rather than the smaller details. So let's say for example,
I'm feeling. I'm feeling sleepy, yawn. I love it. That expression pretty much sums up who I am as a person.
I'm going to combine these two together since they're pretty similar. So foods and treasures, specifically custom treasures, because custom treasures gives you the freedom to make whatever, and as you're making them, you're probably going to have a lot of ideas floating around, like why would this character have this thing, why would they like this thing, why would they dislike this thing, because obviously you can't control how the Miis react to what you give them, and I think that also can really help develop things because since their reactions are unpredictable, it gives you ideas for why they would react that way. Now for food, this could definitely just be more of a trivial thing. It could be deeper depending on the character and how you want to develop them. Boom, OC developed. And that is so fun. The unpredictability of the game really leads to interesting ideas and thought experiments that can help you develop the character further. Just like treasures, fashion is definitely a great way to develop characters if you want to do custom stuff, but don't worry if you do not have the skills or the patience to make custom clothes. The game has really nice options, which I love. I've definitely enjoyed coming up with like lore reasons for why characters might have this certain item, or maybe I just want the characters to look visually very aesthetic, you know? Like, I love just looking at the characters and just seeing how pretty they look in the game. That's just a really fun aspect of it. But let's say you have a certain combo that you want to have. That can really explain why a character is the way that they are, or maybe they just like to dress a certain way that alludes to their personality. Like a character that shows a bit more skin, well at least as much skin as the game will allow, they're probably confident. Or maybe a character wears more modest stuff, so they're probably not as confident, or maybe they just prefer that. Or maybe a character likes to wear like loungewear, very casual stuff out and about. Maybe they're just really chill, or maybe they might be more lazy and they just don't feel like wearing stuff that's a bit more high effort out in public. Who knows? I feel like because there's so many options, different ways you can arrange outfits, it results in pretty much infinite possibilities for how a character can look and what types of personality traits you can infer from them, and that's really fun. I honestly love playing games where I have like a huge wardrobe to work with. That's one of the reasons why I loved Animal Crossing New Horizons so much. I love dressing up my character.
Have you given love much thought?
Love is like when you can almost picture Whimsical's face in your mind, but you just can't quite see it.
So me relationships are definitely the meat and potatoes of the game. the characters and their drama is so entertaining to watch. Like, that is definitely why a lot of people enjoy the game so much. Seeing characters befriend each other that they might not befriend in canon, or forming romantic relationships and getting married and having kids, is also just like really entertaining, because you're like, what? They would never do this outside of the game. What is wrong with them? But that can be really fun. The unpredictability of it can really add this like spice that you might need for your characters. So as a result, the unexpected friend breakup or maybe the divorce could really elevate or what's going on with your story. Overall, I hope this helps people with developing their OCs. As I said before, I don't need to add everything that happens in the game to their lore, just the interesting fun stuff that you think would help develop them further. Or if you're making a character completely from scratch, then anything that you think could really help form a backstory is probably what you should keep as a note. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoy playing Tomodachi Life, and I'll see you quacks later.